Whenever I finish a piece of work, I fly off to the theater or I go fishing in the hopes of forgetting, of resting. But no, a new subject is already turning like a heavy iron ball in my brain, and some invisible force drags me to my table, and I must make haste and write and write. And so on and so on, and forever and ever. I get no rest from myself. I feel that I am devouring my own life. That for the honey which I give unknown mouths out in the void, I rob my choicest flowers of their pollen. I pluck the flowers themselves and then trample on their roots. Surely I must be mad. Surely my friends and acquaintances do not treat me as they would treat a sane man. What are you writing at now? What are we going to get next? And so it goes on until I feel as if my friends' interest, their praise and admiration is all a deception. They are deceiving me as one would deceive a sick man. And I'm afraid that one day they're going to steal on from behind me and seize me and carry me out like Paprichkin to a madhouse. In the old days, my best young days, when I was a beginning writer, my work was continual torture. I felt an unimportant writer, especially when things aren't going very well for him, feels that his work is clumsy, awkward, superfluous, and his nerves are strained and tormented, and he has nowhere to go but to hover amongst those involved in art and literature. Unnoticed, unrecognized, afraid to look men right in the eye, like a passionate gambler who hasn't got any money to play with. The reader, who I haven't met, has presented himself to me to be unfriendly and mistrustful. And whenever a new play of mine is put on, I see the dark ones in the audience to be hostile and the fair ones to be coldly indifferent. How frightful it was. What agony I felt. Yes, it is a good feeling to be a writer, to be writing, and the proofs, looking over the proofs is pleasant too. But whenever the thing is published, my heart sinks, and I see it immediately as a failure, that I ought not have written it at all. And I'm angry at myself, and I feel horrible. The public who sees it, they say, "How charming, how clever. It's a charming story, but not as good as Tolstoy. What a delightful writer, but not as good as Turgenev's Fathers and Sons." And so it goes on and on until my dying day. My writings will always be charming and clever, but nothing more. And when I die, my friends will pass my grave and say, "Here lies Trigorin. He was a charming writer, but not so good as Turgenev."